Thank you, Sit and Woodley, young professionals. You have been great. Just do life, I guess. That's what we need to do. Work is not everything. Job is not everything. Employment or careers. No. Your motivation may come from a different aspect of your life. Don't feel guilty because you're pursuing your passion, drawing or writing or doing something alongside your job. That's also part of life. So what's your personal motivation? Now, my son, I see that you have successfully finished school and have obtained yourself a job. You have graduated from childhood, and I must charge you to do 3 things quickly. First, build yourself a house. Second, marry a wife, a good woman. Third, buy a cow and let me look after it for you. What is it with a house, a spouse, and cow? Think about life holistically, and that stability comes from those 3 elements: relationships, social aspects of life, people you get to know. I really didn't take this seriously, but over the years I've found out that a house is one of the most important things you can get in life: stability and income. So I built a house and earning a salary of 2,733. You notice I remember the number. I never gave it a thought. Got a job in the city paying me 20,000. My salary just went 6 times. Boom. Earning 6 times as much. But I was not saving as much as the house was consuming 40% of my income. The salary rise didn't do anything. It was being consumed by the landlord. That got me thinking, man, I need to own this house. As soon as you get your first job, get your first mortgage and start paying it. It'll take you 15 years. And if you were 20, you're 35, at least you own a house. Spouse, I won't put it better than Joseph. That's the most viable economic unit you can have. You can double your income and half your expenses. You move from 2 houses, you move into one, take 1 soda and 2 straws and you drink the soda, and that's fine. And then, of course, there's the reproduction unit. Of course, it gets very emotional, connections with other people. Leave alone your job. This is part of life. So there's a house, there's a spouse, and then there's a cow. I'm talking about investments, fixed deposit accounts, SACCO shares. Those are the cows in the city. It's a circle of life. Your corporate journey would not be complete if you didn't have this. What motivates you? What wakes you up in the morning? It may be an aspect of the job you enjoy. Motivation can be personal. Your peers can egg you on to do certain things. Intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. I've always wanted to write, but I never got any grades in school to indicate that I was a writer. But that's my intrinsic motivation. My teaching career, it's helped me in my training career. It's personal. So what drives you to sustain you through your career much more than external rewards, whether you are paid or not? What motivates you at first is your basic needs. You need a house, food, shelter, and clothing. It's not necessarily job related. You just volunteer. Take note of those, because many people develop their careers and enjoy life based on their motivational drives, and not necessarily because I'm a scientist. It is an energizer. One young man put up his hand and said, I want to be a driver. There was silence in the house, as you can imagine, and then the class collapsed into laughter. I was taken aback because I wasn't expecting that from the student. Why do you want to be a driver? The drivers in his village help people. They transport them to work and they bring them back, and he feels that that is such a good thing to do, and he wants to do that so that he can help people. All of us hung our heads in shame because we were talking about doctor, engineer, because of what? We wanted the money. So the guy helped us to realize, wait a minute, what is that actual thing that we can serve humanity with? Be satisfied with the contribution you make, and you can be self-actualized. Your motivation does not define you. You are a child of God. You know why you were created, so that you can define yourself. And what is you? If that's a sensible question, what is you? Who are you? Identify yourself and be that person to the world, and you will be very highly motivated. The world has a lot of stress. Stress is basically on the body. Let me put it this way. The body houses you, your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. So you need to be careful with the house that has housed you, because sometimes you can take on a load that is beyond you and your body gets stressed. Your body reacts and pushes up in terms of creating a strain. So your body will only collapse if the load is too much for it to handle. You need to study, it's stressful. If you study 24 hours, it's too much. Your body cannot take it. The body conditioning to take that stress. That's why it's important to exercise. Keep your body healthy. Keep your mind healthy. Some sort of disease, your body is stressed. Physically, you need to treat it. There is no psychosocial stress. Wellness. You're not in good relationships. You have a bad attitude to a lot of people. It causes you stress. It causes a load. And the third source of the load is your lifestyle. If you live an expanded lifestyle, you must be in every meeting. You must go to every party. You need to manage your body stress. In the work environment, there is a load set. If you're not at work, your work stress is relieved. There is family, finances, and peer pressure. You've not done this, and you're like, okay, so do I have to? This will help you do life. Eat healthy, do your physical exercise, maintain good relationships, manage your work, take a break, structure your time. It gets ridiculous that since everybody has a red car in this neighborhood, I also need a red car. Do you? We watch all the movies, so our mind is caught up in imaginations that are unreal. Be wise, right? Countering stress with stress doesn't work. You carry it with you. Look for ways to control it. Sometimes it's a question of communication, restoration. You work 12, you rest 12. The fact that you can run for 6 months doesn't mean that you have escaped the stress. The body's response to stress is delayed. So don't think you're very smart saying, I only sleep 3 hours. I can work until one of these days you'll just find yourself flat on your back. Your body has refused to move. Why? Because it has not had time for restoration. I think work-life balance is part of life. But why does life suffer? Because work gets a lot of attention. We have no time for our life goals. We don't take time to engage our aspirations. If I ask, what are your life goals? I'm not so sure. Because you have not clarified your life goals, you don't pursue them. Your dreams, your aspirations, your gifts and talents and abilities are lying idle. At some point in your career, you'll find that you have achieved all the work goals, but you didn't really do the things you believed in or the things that you felt were part of you. It's part of what I want to give to humanity, and it's part of my life and work. Don't let your career outweigh your life goals. That's where there is no balance. There is no other time, by the way. A glad heart makes a cheerful countenance, but sorrow of heart, the spirit is broken. Does that sound like balance? A man's spirit will endure sickness, but a broken spirit who can bear? I think you can identify with that. It's not working and you're really under strain. You can speak to yourself and say, boss, get up, because the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I tell myself that every morning. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still water. He restores my soul. Do you know how energizing that is? You can speak to yourself. Self-talk to the understanding. Do life. Don't just live your career is everything. There is so much more. You're not waiting to live life after work. I will not get to the end of my life and say, man, I never wrote books. I wrote them. Think about your life in season. When you're between 20 and 35, you are in a particular season. Maybe by 35 to 40, you're in a family season. There are certain things that you need to do. You can't tell your child, I'm saving, so I can't pay school fees for you. You have to pay the school fees. You are in that season. Everything is in the hands of God. Career goals and drives and doing this. I don't think you want to get to the end of life and say, I didn't enjoy this.
So thank you so much, Alan. We've learned so much for teaching, mentorship, discipline for 6 consecutive weeks is really nothing but a blessing.